Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Well, we're talking with Dan Smith of Vail Mountain Rescue. And Dan, you guys do backcountry rescue.
Oh, yeah.
And then you come on the show to kind of dispense information, education, hopefully a little bit of wisdom, so somebody will listen to you and maybe not get themselves into the same predicament.
Well, I'm not sure it's listening to me, but not getting themselves in the same predicament is the right answer. We did 2 missions last week. One we barely rolled on. It was at Nova Guides Camp Hale. They got the guy out. The other one was last night. Of course, most of our missions are at night. Fellow was skiing out of the backside of Fowler Hilliard Hut, which is above Camp Hale. And skier versus tree. Tree always wins. In this case, he broke his right lower leg and had a bump on his head. The bump on the head bothers you because it can be a slow bleed, it can be no bleed, it can be a whole lot of things, and you don't know till the patient's eyes roll back in his head and he starts acting silly.
Yeah.
So this is one where the group he was skiing with did exactly what the group he was skiing with was supposed to do. They took care of him till we got there. He was injured at 2:41 in the afternoon, roughly. We got to the patient about 7. So that's 3.5 hours that you're on your own or you're being cared for by the people who are with you. They did everything right. They were, 200 feet, 300 feet of vertical below the hut, but on a road. So they shuttled people back to the hut to get sleeping bags, to get pads, so we get this guy up off the snow. Kept him warm, kept him dry, kept him calm, which is the most important thing. What happens with these is somebody gets hurt. It takes about 30 minutes for that group to decide who to call. They call 911. Takes a little bit of time there. Takes 30 to 45 to get us moving because nobody's sitting at our gear cache waiting for these things to happen.
Sure.
Everybody's doing something, and they get called in from what they're doing. We sent 3 guys and a paramedic and 4 sleds up the hill. This was Sunday afternoon skier going home traffic, so that took about 40 minutes to get to the top of Vail Pass. The snow was it was okay. It's a polished road going in. There's a snowcat that the guide services run up there. But then you have to climb Ptarmigan Hill, and we're towing a 400-pound trailer. It's a little hard going up. They got to the patient, got him packaged, and we have a sleeping bag with a lot of holes in it that have flaps that you can get in. You can run an IV to the guy, and he's still nice and warm in the sleeping bag. And since the leg was probably broken, we put him in a bean bag, which is literally a human-sized length bag of beans, little fiber beans, and you suck the air out, and the bean with a pump, and the bean bag just grabs you and immobilizes you.
Oh, okay.
So if there's a break someplace else we don't know, plus it's reasonably comfortable if you've got him in a sleeping bag inside that. Put him in the sled, had to come out another way because we'd never climbed the hill with the load. So there was another way out that the guys took and brought him on out to the pass, and then suddenly discovered we can't get an ambulance because the pass is closed eastbound.
Oh, no.
So we had to get permission to transport him in our vehicles, which were already at the top of the hill, and went westbound, got him to Vail Health, and I'm sure he's going to be fine.
Okay.
But these things just get very, very complicated. You worry about that head injury. Is it a bump on the head, which, if you're my age, the number of times you've had your bell rung is not countable, and maybe that accounts for some things. But you are worried that something's going on that you can't see.
Yeah.
So the folks with him had good cell phone service with us. Well, the AT&T does well up there, Verizon doesn't. And if there was a change in his behavior, they were going to call us. Not quite sure what we'd have done because there were no helicopters. Lifeguard 2 from Summit was stuck in Denver. It couldn't get up.
Yeah.
There's no way you could launch anything from Hats. So
I tell you what, Dan, let's take a quick break, and then we'll pick this up after the
Sure.
break. We're going to give you a look at that weather forecast, and then we'll be back with more of Dan Smith.